Welcome back to Sunflower Roses. We're finally back.
After like 2 months, I think.
2 months? Yeah.
2-ish months, right?
We were gonna try to be back in like a week or two. And here we finally are. Really quick, I just want to address the mic issue. I have my mic down here. I mean, you guys can see it right there. But we're currently sharing a mic because that's all I was able to afford at the time. But I am currently in the process of getting a second mic for us. So either we can each hold a mic to ourselves or just have a mic facing us. Mm-hmm. So that issue is going to get fixed hopefully by the next episode, which will come out in like maybe 3 years. But
when we're married.
Yeah, we'll already have families. We'll be living on our own. We're gonna have to do the podcast through FaceTime, like, you know.
You'll see my kids in the background.
Yeah. Oh my God. You remember those Zoom meetings of like these like people working and just like their kids in the background? I thought that was kind of.
Yeah. I saw a video where a person was like, he was like giving like a report on the news.
Yeah. Oh.
And then his like son and came in on the walker.
Yeah.
And then all you see is his wife coming in, and
rushing in, snatching the kids.
The kids.
I do remember that video. Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah. So really quick, the reason why we took so long to bring out another episode was because, I mean, I've explained it every time I've promoted the podcast, like in my other videos and stuff. We both have very different schedules. Especially now. We're very different with our schedules, you know, or some days you just can't, you know, some days I just can't. So, you know, it's very hard. It's not that easy to just like set a day like every week, for example, you know, which we could try, but I mean, it's not gonna be guaranteed like every, like, for example, every Thursday or every Friday new episode. I don't know. We'll try to work on that. Yeah. We'll try to work on that. But you know, I just want to quickly address that we're not trying to stop the podcast, you know. That's not what we were trying to do. We were just very busy and like we just literally didn't have time. We've tried like, maybe this is probably like our 3rd time already trying. Yeah. And it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen because we were just busy and stuff. But yeah. The podcast was not meant to stop, you know. Obviously it just took a while for the next episode, but we were not trying to stop it. And because at no moment did I ever mention to you like, hey, I think we should, like, you know, stop this podcast. Yeah. Like, we never mentioned like, hey, I think we should just like stop it, like it's been a while, you know. We were just trying to figure out when to start it, you know.
When we first filmed it, I was still in school, so, and then I wanted to film more, but it was like school was ending, so it was like finals week, finals this, finals that, and then then I started working more. Yeah. And then you started working.
And then I started working, so then it was very, very difficult. It just got worse and worse, but today it was kind of not super last minute because I did mention it to you like during the week that, like, you know, I kind of wanted to try this, you know, like filming the next episode. Mm-hmm. And we weren't too sure if you were going to be able to. And then kind of last minute you decided, yeah, I'm going, you know. Yeah. So yeah, so it's finally here. So sorry to everyone. Sorry. Yeah. But so to start off, really quick, I just want to ask, how are you doing today, Fatima?
I am doing good.
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
Very tired. Yes.
Been tired lately, but how are you?
Honestly, same. I'm so tired, but I think today was a good day. Yesterday was a really good day. So I can't complain. Yep. I can't complain, you know.
We're still living and breathing, so we can't complain.
Yeah, we're still doing good, so that's, you know, that's just how it is right now. Just very tired, and we're just trying to make it through. We're just trying to make it through. Yeah, so really quick, I wanted to see what we can jump into because I kind of more or less had a plan of what we can talk about. But at the same time, I was like, you know, are we just gonna like freestyle this, like just throw in topics, throw in ideas? And first of all, I just want to mention we have a segment later on that we do called Things Heard, Read, and Seen, which I'm so excited to get into later.
So many things.
Yeah, so many things.
Since the last time we talked about this.
Yes, so many things, okay. Which we'll get into later during the segment. But before I just really quickly want to tell a story about something that happened yesterday. So yesterday, we went to go see the new Quiet Place movie together. We went with your older sister. Shout out to Shelly, by the way, because yeah, it was a good day. I had just gotten off of work, and because where I work is literally down the street from the movie theater, so I was like, I'm just gonna go there, just walk into the mall, get something to eat, and then I'll just meet you guys here. Which was kind of funny because I walked in and I was like, I kind of want like just something small, like not a whole like meal, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna probably look for like a Wetzel's pretzel, and I didn't even think. I was like, the only Wetzel's pretzel that I'm aware of in the mall is like, you know, when they have them like in the middle of the mall randomly, like in between stores and stuff. I was like, I'm too tired to go look for it. I'm gonna just find something here in the food court. And I kind of wanted Subway, but I was like, I'm too tired to just like order and think what I want and stuff. So I ended up going to just get like a slice of pizza. Right, I just got a slice of pizza, and then I texted you like, hey, I'm gonna be in the food court if you guys get here, like if you guys want to come chill out. And I just ate my slice, and I was like, you know, it's already like, the movie was like what, at 2:30? It was gonna start at 2:30. And I was sitting there waiting for you guys, but you haven't texted me yet, so I was like, you know, they're not here yet. And I didn't buy my ticket because I was like, if I go and buy my ticket first, what if the 2 seats next to me like get taken? So I was like, we'll just wait and hope that when we go, like not a lot of people are there, or we can at least find like 3 seats together, which we did. We did, which was good, yeah. So very funny. I ate pizza before you guys got there, and then we go into the movie theater to get snacks, and your sister buys us pizza. So I had a full day of pizza, and honestly, can't complain about that either. But yeah, your sister going was very last minute from what you told me.
Yeah, because I was, throughout the like morning, I was asking her, or, like a couple of days, I guess, before I went, I was like, you want to come? And she was like, no, it's too late, like I don't want to go too late. I was like, okay. And then I asked her the day before, are you sure you don't want to come? And she's like, I'm okay, you can go. I was like, oh, fine. And then I asked her in the morning when I got home from work, and I was like, you want to go? And she's like, no, it's okay. And I was like, okay. So then I was like literally about to leave the house, and I was like, are you sure you don't want to go? And then she was like, okay, I'll go.
Oh my gosh. They finally were able to convince her to go.
Yeah, I feel like I gaslighted her a little bit though.
Why?
With all the asking.
Oh, you kind of made her feel pressure to go.
I didn't mean it that way, but I just, because I felt bad because I know she wanted to watch the movie too.
Yeah.
And her friend couldn't go with her, so I was like, okay, she'll just come with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, she came with us.
That's good. Yeah, I know. I was kind of surprised because you told me in advance, like, hey, we might not go with my sister, so it might just be the 2 of us. Which I was open to whichever. I was like, I don't mind like whoever comes with us, you know. But I was just like, I was expecting like you to walk in, like, you know, it's just gonna be like you and me in the food court, you know, for a little bit. But then I walk out, and I was like, you know, maybe they'll be here right now. And when you text me that you're here, and I see you in the distance, and I saw her with you, and I was like, oh shoot, I was like, I thought Shelly wasn't gonna come with us, you know. But no, I was really happy to see her, you know, because every now and then, you know, I rarely get to see her. Yeah. You know, I always see her at work. I'll randomly go to her work and I'll just see her there. I saw her the other day. I don't know if she told you.
Oh really?
Yeah, she didn't tell you?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's been times where I've seen your family just out, and I've never seen you out randomly. I've seen your mom, I've seen your grandma at the grocery store, and I've seen your sister out when she's working usually, and I think that, no, not that same day I went to her work, but I texted you the other day in the morning. You were working, and me and my sister, we were going to Target, and we were trying to look for an outfit for her for the weekend, and she didn't find anything at Target, so she was like, let's go check Ross and like Marshalls and stuff. So we go, and as we're walking over to Ross, or like in that general direction, I see your cart parked in the distance. And I was like, oh my god. I tell my sister, I'm like, oh my god, Fatima's right here. And we walk in through the stores and stuff, and I don't even see you anywhere.
I'm literally in the back when you texted me.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And I only texted you. I didn't want to text you because I was like, you know, if she is in the back or something, like, I don't want her to like feel like, you know, you have to drop what you're doing just to go say hi to me. Like, I didn't want to do that, but I was like, maybe she's working in the front somewhere, you know, and like if she is, that's when I'll text you and be like, you know, like, hey, I'm here at your work, you know. And you know, I thought, and I even walked around like the store looking like a complete lost puppy, just looking through stuff and just hoping I would maybe see you somewhere, and I didn't see you anywhere. And I even had the idea of going to a specific part of the store that you always tell me you're working in, and I didn't see you there either. It was the shoes.
The shoes.
I was like, I know where she's gonna be at right now, and so I go to the shoes and you're not there. And I'm like, oh. So I figured, I was like, okay, she's working in the back. And I also figure you're not texting me back, because usually when you tell me that you're working, you usually have your headphones on and stuff. So I was like, you know, maybe she'll hear it, the message go in. But I was like, if she doesn't respond, it's because she's busy right now, she can't. So I'm like, I'm gonna just leave it right there. And a part of me kind of felt bad that I even texted you that I was here, because I was, like I said, like I was worried that like you're busy doing something, and like you were gonna feel like you had to go out and say hi to me, you know. But
yeah, when I texted you back, I was on my break, so I was gonna go see you, but then you said you were gone.
I had just left around that time when you went on your break. Oh my god, by like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I think literally by like 10 minutes we were almost home at that point.
Oh.
When you texted me, and I was like, oh. I was like, I didn't get to see my friend. But yeah, there's been multiple times where I've gone and I see your sister working. There's multiple times where I've gone and I've seen her. And yeah, the first time when I saw her there, I wanted to say hi to her, but I was gonna like surprise her by like me, like I was gonna I went to go look for something, obviously, and I was like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna get in line, hope that like I get to go to her register and stuff, and like I'll surprise her there. But then I think when I ended up buying, when I went to go try on something, and then by the time I came out of the dressing room, I didn't even see her anymore. I think you told me that you had just picked her up. Yeah. You picked her up from work, and I was like, no, I could have seen both of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to say hi to her. I felt bad, and yeah, I missed you again. I missed you again. Yeah, but. Yeah, your sister, she's great. Love her. I would love to have her on. I feel
like she'd be very unhinged.
I feel like she'd be so funny that I'm just like, I need to have the three of you on here. No, I know for a fact. I feel like it's gonna get chaotic if the three of you are here together. Okay, because if you're not gonna get involved, I know for a fact that your two sisters are definitely gonna fight on here. Because here's the thing, right? We FaceTime a lot. We haven't done it in a while. We should. Yeah. We FaceTime a lot, and a lot of the times Fatima's just minding her own business. She's reading on her Kindle, or she's on her phone watching TikToks or whatever. And in the distance, I just hear your two sisters yelling at each other, and you're not even bothered by it. Like, you're just casually on your phone reading your book, and your sisters are like practically murdering each other back there. And yeah, I'm like, I really want to know how chaotic it'll be to have all three of you together.
Yeah. And that reminds me, whenever I'm on FaceTime, mind you this. Yeah. My siblings hardly ever like they come up to me and like they like hang out with me, whatever. But they hardly do it. And then, but once they hear that you're on the phone with me, they're just on top of me the whole time, and they're like on like want to be like see you. Yeah. And I'm just like, leave me alone, go away.
Oh my god, it's because of me that you're suffering with your siblings. Oh my god, I think you've told me that. Yeah. Because I thought that's how your siblings are with you.
I mean, they are sometimes. Yeah. But like when you're there, like when I'm on the phone with anybody else. Yeah. Nothing. Okay. But when I'm on with you, they're always just there. My little brother's always like.
I know. I always see your little brother just. He always just peeks his head in the corner of the camera, and he's always saying hi.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god. And that one time when I think we said on the other one, on the other podcast, on the other episode, where I had left the screen, right? I had left to do something. Yeah. And then my brother appeared, and then my little sister's watching, I think, an edit. Yeah. And she's like, he's so hot or something, right?
Yeah, I remember
right that. When he like did something, right?
He was like, I don't know, he looked like he was trying to like he was trying to rizz up, you know.
Oh, okay.
And as he's doing that, your younger sister's like on her phone watching edits or whatever, and she just goes in the background. Once again, in the background, she just goes, "Oh my god, he's so fine." As your brothers try to like rizz up, like. It was like the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
It was the timing.
I heard you laugh because I had my headphones. And I was like, what's she laughing at?
Oh my god. It's funny how like whenever you do leave your whenever you do leave me like in your room, for example, and you like leave to go do something, you usually do take your headphones with you. So it's like you can still like I can still talk with you even though you're not in frame. And I feel like every time you do that, I feel like I always end up laughing, and it's like you always assume like, oh my god, what are they doing now? Like your siblings, like what are they doing now? Like
my brother always like whenever I leave my like iPad by itself.
Yeah.
That's his chance. His chance to just go and like do. I don't even know what he's gonna do. Like just do something.
Yeah.
It's his chance. He takes it as a chance, and I'm like, fine. I just let him now.
Oh my god.
Unless he like stays there for a while and okay, go away now.
You know, it was one time my favorite too because like I don't know, I don't know if that's just like a FaceTime thing in general or if that's just an Apple thing. How like you know how we were mentioning like when we first started like FaceTiming because we use our iPads to FaceTime mostly. And whenever you like move, the camera follows you. So it's like if you move this way, the camera's gonna adjust like following you.
Yeah.
And there was one time where, or like if, for example, like if you're in front of the camera, but then you get up and you walk away, sometimes it follows you, so it zooms in on where you are in the back, or sometimes it'll just like zoom out because it's not recognizing any faces. And there's been multiple times where like it'll focus on like something else. And there was one time, speaking of your brother. Where you were trying to give him medicine and he wasn't letting himself, so the camera kept like readjusting because it was the two of you running around like cat and mouse, like trying to just give him medicine.
Oh my god.
And I couldn't stop laughing at it, and you were getting frustrated. Like you weren't even laughing, you were frustrated at the fact that he's not letting himself. And there was one time where he told you, he's like, you try it then. And you actually did. You did try the medicine. What's your review on that medicine?
Nasty.
It was nasty.
0 out of 10. But I had to pretend that it was good.
I know, I saw that. I saw the pain in your eyes. Oh my god, yeah. And there was that one time too where like me and you were like you were in the living room and we were having like a very serious conversation about I don't know what anymore. We were having a very serious conversation though, and you're not facing the iPad, so the camera didn't, you know, recognize you, so it wasn't focusing on you, and it starts zooming in on your mom in the background eating. As I'm like, mind you, I'm not watching the screen either. We're both like staring away from the screens, but I'm talking to you about something personal. You're just listening to me, and I look at the camera and I don't even see you. I see your mom in the back eating. And I'm like, where'd you go? And then you like come back, and that's when the camera focuses on. And I was like, girl, it was literally
my mom.
It was literally focusing on your mom like in the back eating. I was like, that's everything. Oh my god.
That's so funny. You know what that reminds me of? The iPad like zooming in. It reminds me. It's now that I'm watching like The Office.
Oh, okay.
It reminds me of like the zoom ins on The Office. I don't. Have you seen The Office?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It reminds me of the zoom ins. You know how like they like it's kind of like the Office is like kind of like reality.
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And they like zoom in on the people and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. And when you said that, when I was trying to get him to take his medicine.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was just chasing me.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of, like The Office, like when they're running around and stuff.
Yeah, that's literally what it felt like. Because I was just like watching you chase him, and like, he wasn't letting himself. Oh my god.
It's so hard to get him to take medicine. It's so hard. I get so frustrated because he doesn't want to take it if he doesn't have water right next to him. And he doesn't want to take it if I don't put it down next to him. I can't hand it to him. I have to put it down so he can grab it.
Oh, okay.
He's like, put it down. I'm just like, okay. So I put it down. And then he like, oh my gosh, he frustrates me. I love him. I love my little brother, but he frustrates me because he doesn't want to take it. And once he does take it, it looks like a person taking a shot for the first time.
Oh my god.
Because he takes it and he's like...
That was me taking my first shot at 21. Oh,
so
good.
funny.
Yeah. Speaking of like medicine and all that, how are you with like? Are you one of those people that like can't take pills?
I can, but one at a time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. There are sometimes like you get like prescriptions for whatever, and like or like over the counter pills, and it's like take 4 in one, and it's like whoa, like calm down.
Take one by one.
Yeah, one by one. Yeah.
And I have to take like breaks and like 10-second breaks, or else like I feel like I can't really swallow them because I feel like my like it closes after the first one.
Yeah.
So I have to like wait, and then I take it again.
That's crazy because the reason why I'm asking is because like I've never had the issue with like taking pills, you know, like it's never been an issue with me where it's like I feel like I can't swallow it or whatever. Personally, I prefer pills over liquid, just because you taste it less.
Yeah,
you know,
you just like pop it in. And ready to go.
Yeah, you don't really get the taste, so that's why I was like, you know, it's like a very interesting conversation for me because I have a cousin, right, who can't take pills to save her life, right. La pobre. She can't take pills to save her life. She recently, when she was here, she had gotten a prescription for, I don't know what it was. And they were pills. They were capsule pills, though. Which I know those are, like, different, you know? But it's still, like, technically a pill. And she couldn't just, like, take them, you know? She had to, like, put it in water to dissolve it. To be able to like take it, so she couldn't just like pop it in and like chug water and hope it goes down with the water. Like she had to put it in a cup with water and wait for it to dissolve. So
you just crushed it.
Well, that's what we thought too. That's what my sister did because it was a capsule. So what she did was she cut it like right down the middle and she just poured like into the water and mixed it and then just made it like that so she can just take it. Which she also didn't like doing because it smelled so bad. I always made fun of her for it, and she was like, "Here, smell it," and I smell it, and it smells like a really bad fart. So I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, that reminds me with my brother too when he got sick like recently.
Yeah.
They gave him these like tiny pills to take, but obviously he can't take them.
Yeah.
So then they're like capsules as well. So I gave it to him in water, and he did not want to take it. He's like, it tastes like hand sanitizer.
Oh my god.
And I was like, just take it. But he didn't want to. And then my mom got the idea of like getting a Gatorade. Like the small ones that we have sometimes.
Yeah. And
she put it in the Gatorade and she made him like drink it.
Oh.
And then he ended up drinking it that way and stuff.
That makes sense because, I mean, to be honest, like with water, it's like you still can taste the pill because it's water. But if you do put it in something that's like has some flavor, I guess it does like eliminate like the flavor of the actual medicine or pill itself. But yeah, I don't know. I was just very curious because we were just talking about like, you know, you and your brother and like medicine and stuff. And I just thought to myself because it's like, I don't know, like as someone who can just easily take pills, like it's weird to me like the way, I don't mean to sound rude for people, but like the way people sometimes like are over dramatic about taking a pill. But I'm like, you know, like I guess like everyone, like some people can't take it, you know, and it's just
I don't understand how people can take it without water.
Oh, that I don't get. Yeah, I can't do that.
My mom can do that.
Really?
She just takes it and she just swallows it, and I'm just like,
whoa.
I'm like, you don't want water?
Whoa.
And she's like, no. I was like, okay. Okay.
Wow. See, that's crazy. That to me is crazy. That's like
crazy.
Yeah. Whoa.
Sometimes she can take like more than just 1, 2.
Oh really?
Yeah.
She can do like the 2 or 3 like.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh.
And she doesn't even need water.
I'm like, you good? You're not choking?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Really quick. So you had an idea for the podcast that I thought was like, I thought it was interesting because it's something that I just started doing not that long ago on my own YouTube channel with like my own videos. Is on my videos and stuff, I started this this little series called Ask Riley, where I ask people on Instagram like submit questions to me, and then I'll just answer them like on Instagram, on not Instagram, on my YouTube channel. And you had an idea that we should do something like that for this podcast. That we should definitely like go on Instagram or even like in the comment sections, you know, have people submit a questions, like ask literally whatever you guys want. Truthfully, the funnier the better, because that makes it more interesting. And then for every podcast from now on, if we constantly get more and more questions, every podcast we can have a little segment where we can just answer like some of you guys' questions and stuff, which I think was cool. I liked that idea. I didn't even think about that when I first started it on like my regular videos, and then you brought that up, and I was like, we should do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you guys go ahead and just comment down if you guys want to ask questions for next episode. You guys can leave comments in this video if you're watching on YouTube.
Make sure they're appropriate though.
yeah, definitely. And then I'll also do the same like on my Instagram story, which I will put on the screen for you guys to follow. So you guys can submit all the questions you guys want, and we're gonna do this hopefully every episode. You know, it may not be guaranteed that every time we'll get like, you know, enough questions for us to do a segment, you know, but every now and then when we get questions, you know, we'll do a little basically Q&A every episode. So yeah, credit to Fatima for that, because that was her idea. That was her idea. So yeah, I had a story that I was supposed to talk about, but like you mentioned during intermission, we're yappers. We just go off. We started talking about your brother and all this, and yeah. So yesterday we saw A Quiet Place, and you were very nervous. You were very nervous. I knew for a fact way before, like right when you first mentioned to me a long time ago, we want to go see the new Quiet Place, right? I don't even think you had invited me yet when you started mentioning this to me, and I instantly started, you know, thinking to myself, Joseph Quinn is in this movie. Fatima's gonna get so nervous for him. She's gonna be at the edge of her seat. She's gonna definitely cry, which you can confirm.
I had like a single tear right here.
She had one tear that I didn't get to witness, but your sister did, because you sat in between us. You were the snack holder, because you were holding the I was holding the pizzas for a while. You were holding the popcorn, and we were just both reaching over to you and stuff. And yeah, so you were very nervous. I could already tell before we even saw the movie, and I could just by the way you were like shaking like in the movie theater, like you were so nervous. I got nervous at some point too, but to be honest, what do you expect when it's like a horror movie like that, like very thriller, post-apocalyptic, and you throw in the main character having a cat, right?
Yes.
I was scared. I was like, I sat down in that movie theater. First of all, we walked in and the movie already started. We missed like
it's probably like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, we probably missed like the first 5 minutes, you know. We walked in and I sat down, saw a cat, and I was like, that's gonna piss me off. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad because there's a cat, and
this cat better not die.
This cat is gonna frustrate me so much. So now I started getting nervous, right? And I mean, we're not obviously gonna spoil this movie because it just came out, right? But as we were watching the movie, and I kept thinking about this cat. What was the cat's name again? Wasn't it Frodo?
Frodo, yes.
Frodo, yeah. So I
can't. If you want to put a picture, Frodo.
Frodo, yes.
Somewhere.
We'll get a picture of Frodo. Yeah, we'll find an image of Frodo. It started reminding me of something that happened to me not that long ago, which was very scary. And let me explain, right? So most of the time I would be home by myself. I'd be home alone. You know, this was before I started working. I would be home alone all the time, and you know, I would just be cleaning and stuff. And there was a day where I was in the kitchen. I was doing the dishes, and you know how like in our kitchen, like where our sink is, like right up, there's like the window right there, right? So I had the AC on, like we have it right now, but you guys probably can't hear. But I had the AC on, so it was like, you know, this was the only noise I was hearing. Like I don't even know if I had the TV on, no radio on. Like I don't know, like I was just doing dishes, like, you know, just in my head and all. And then out of nowhere, I hear this loud crash, but like not a car crash. Like I hear like a giant like thud. Right?
Like something falling?
Yeah, like if literally like if something fell, like hard on the ground, like something big. And I freak out, right? And as this happened, I heard the giant like, no. Yes, I did hear that, but right before, like I want to say literally 2 seconds before I heard that giant thud, I started noticing like around our house, like we have picture frames and stuff like that. I started noticing the pictures like kind of moving. All of them. Not one. They were all moving. And then the second I heard the thud, I saw all my cats, mind you, I have like 8 or 9 cats, right? All my cats took off. They all ran, left me alone in this house. And I freak out because I'm like, what was that? I was like, first I saw things moving, like pictures moving, and then I saw all my cats took off running like for their lives, like if there's like something was happening. And because you know it's like a whole thing where like they say like animals like sense things like right before they're about to happen. So I got scared, and then as soon as I saw my cats took off, like I heard like a giant like bang in the front, and so I come out here and I don't see anything. So I'm like freaking out, and I'm even like texting my sister. I'm like, hey, like, did you guys hear anything? And even she told me that they heard something. Oh. They told me that at her work they heard something, but that they didn't know like what it was, because for them it sounded a little more far away. For me, it sounded like it was right on top of my ceiling or something, and I got scared because, like, I mean, imagine, right? Like you're home alone, right? There's no noise, you know, no TV, no nothing. It's just you silently washing dishes. You start noticing like as if things are moving around in the house, like shaking, and then you see all your animals take off, which that's not a good sign, because like I said, animals sense things when they're about to happen, right? Yeah. So if something was gonna happen, like my cats were trying to save themselves, like they're trying to run for their lives. Meanwhile, I'm over here like they just abandoned me. And then I hear this giant crash, and I was like, whoa, like I got scared. And so then I waited for my sister to get back from work. I think she still had like another 3 hours till she came back. And she came back, and I mentioned it to her, and that's when she told me like, yeah, like, you know, we at work heard something too. But then she was telling me that her coworkers like looked it up or something, and apparently there was like an earthquake that I didn't even like feel. I definitely heard it and I saw it, but I didn't feel it. But yeah, I was remembering that when I was watching that movie, because obviously, you know, it's kind of like post-apocalyptic. There's a cat, and I was like, oh my.
That cat kept leaving. Once that cat heard like a thud or something, it ran.
It kept running away. Yes, that's why I was very frustrated with this cat, because I was like,
you're like, stay.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this poor cat's gonna frustrate me. And yeah, I don't know, I was remembering that yesterday, because like I don't think I ever told you about this. And I don't know, like it was just weird, like with like earthquakes and stuff. Like it's just very weird how like some people like you and I sitting here, you could feel an earthquake right now, but maybe I won't, you know. Yeah. Like that's weird to me. How does that just like,
I'm just like
yeah, you're just like, whoa, you know.
You're like, what?
One time, this was a couple years back, we had almost just moved here, and we went excuse me, we went to the grocery store at night, and there was like a mini earthquake. I don't know like the number wise of how big an earthquake is, but like, you know, there was an earthquake. And we were already like, you know, paying for our stuff, getting ready to go. And so usually most grocery stores, like right where the registers are and like where you're about to leave, that's usually where they have like all the liquor and stuff. And so me and my cousin, we stand off towards the liquor, and there's an earthquake, and a bottle literally falls right in between us. Oh wow. Just straight down right in between both of us, and it just shatters. And we both got so scared, because we were like, whoa, that could have easily like knocked us out right now. Yeah. In this grocery store. And yeah, it was very scary. Yeah. Neither times I never felt them, but I feel like it's more like, I don't know, I'm gonna ask you personally, when there's an earthquake, are you more scared of not feeling it but you can see the things moving, or are you more scared of just feeling it?
Honestly, just us feeling it, I think.
You're more scared to feel it?
Yeah, because there's been, I think there was, oh my gosh, it was a couple of years ago. And it was like earthquake after earthquake after earthquake.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And it's like in the summer. It was around like July too.
Okay.
And the first one that I felt, I was literally sitting on, we had this like little couch. So we have like a longer couch, we have like a little couch. And there were different couches that we have now. But I was like kind of like sitting like kind of laying down across it. And all of a sudden I like feel like it moving, right? Like, I feel it moving, and I'm like, wait, like who's moving the couch right now? And I looked to see if my brother's doing, because my brother always plays pranks on us. He's always like playing around with us. So I was like looking around to see if he's there, and I was like, well, I'm still moving like this. I'm like, okay, what? And then I look to where the keys are in my house. I don't know if you know where the keys are. Yeah. Right next to the door. And I see them going like swinging.
Whoa.
And then the doors open, so I see it like going like that back and forth. And I'm just like,
That's scary.
And then my sister runs to me. She's like, "There's an earthquake," and I was like, "I know." And then like there's another one where I was outside this time, and at that time we still had my dad's blue van, and it's like a big Astro, about an Astro, and when we were outside, I don't know what we were doing, but we felt it, another earthquake, and we looked to the van, and like the van's like you can hear it like creaking and stuff and moving. It's
whoa.
Like, yeah, it's like moving, and I'm just like I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah,
it was scary.
That's so scary. Oh my god, you probably thought like, I feel like a lot of us, especially people like in California, when you like first witness like when it's your first time witnessing like an earthquake like that, you know, because obviously like people in California, a lot of them are used to earthquakes, you know. Most of the time they're not big, thankfully, you know, but like, you know, when it's our first time witnessing like a kind of crazy one, like I feel like you probably thought to yourself like, oh my god, like the world's ending, you know. You think the world is literally ending. And yeah, that's so scary. There's been multiple stories I've heard, and like, you know, things that we've seen where it's like people assume like, oh my god, like this is the end, you know what I mean? Which is scary to think about, because like, I don't know, I personally, I never look into like this whole like the end of the world theory or anything like that. I don't look into it because I don't necessarily know how much I believe people, but like there's been things that I remember like hearing or witnessing where it's like maybe the whole world's not ending, but it definitely feels like it's ending for me right now. Like, you know, like my world's gonna end right now, you know? Like I remember hearing this story. I heard, these are two stories. One of them I heard from a YouTuber, and the other one was actually my cousins who you met the other day when you came, right? I'll tell you their story first, because theirs was kind of, they were both creepy, but theirs was like, whoa. They were telling me, because they live, you know, where they live, it's more so like city type, you know, not so much like where we live, where it's, you know, not so much like big city and all that. And I don't know what they were doing. I think they're the type of people that like go out to like McDonald's at like 10 p.m. right? Like, yeah, they're those type of people. And I think they were telling me that they went like out at night. I think it was just two of them. They went out somewhere at night. I don't know how late it was, but let's just say it was maybe 10 p.m. right? And they went, I think, to get food, and mind you, they went like maybe like a 20-minute-ish drive away from home to get this food. And they were driving back, mind you, right, city-wise, right? When you think of a city at nighttime, you see like a lot of like, you know, the buildings are all lit up, you know, you see all these like signs and stuff, like where the buildings, like the lights on inside. So it's like when it's a city and it's nighttime, it's more lit up than like, you know, than like towns like this, you know, where it's like it's nighttime and it's literally pitch black. Yeah. And so they were telling me how they were driving back home through a street. I don't know if it was like a main type of street, but there was a bunch of buildings nearby, a bunch of businesses and stuff with like signs all lit up. So it was like all lit up at night. And they told me there were no other cars on this street. They were the only ones driving on this street. And then out of nowhere, mid-drive, that whole street, the power went out. The whole street, the power went out, but it wasn't just like doom, it was like doom. Like they witnessed the lights like dim the whole street.
That's like a scary movie.
The whole street just like went from like being lit up to just like dimming. Yeah. Until the whole street was black. Oh. And I was like, whoa. I was like, how did you guys not die? They were like, we thought we were. They literally thought it was like something from like The Purge or something. Like they literally were scared.
Yeah, that reminds me. I don't know. I think you were still like, I don't know. You were home. I don't think you were with like down the hill or anything.
Oh, okay.
It was a Monday night.
Was this recently or?
It was like maybe it was either May. I think it was May.
Oh, okay.
May. No, actually April or May, one of those.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it was a Monday night, and I usually go to like youth meetings from my church and stuff.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I was coming back, but when I was there, the lights went out at their house.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, and it never came back on, or it did because they had a generator.
Uh huh.
But then we left, and we had to take some people home. So then we passed Main Street, like right at Main Street.
Yeah.
And literally everything, like all the lights were like nothing.
No light.
It was dark.
Oh.
And it was just the light of the cars passing by.
Whoa.
And like even the street lights weren't working.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, they had to put like a stop sign thing.
Wait, so like on main like.
Yeah, like on this side of the bridge. Cause you know how like on that side, like everything was still working on that side.
What the heck?
Because I had to cross over there. So I crossed over there, and everything was still like lit up over there. But on this side, everything was dark.
Ooh.
And I was like, this is scary.
See, that would be more scarier than it happening in a city, because like a lot of people say the city's scary, but it's like here where we live,
like town.
It's more townish than city. So if you're saying that the power went out on a whole side of like a street, that's even scarier because it's pitch black here when it's dark.
Yeah.
It's like pitch black. Like you don't even see anything.
No, it was so dark. Everything. The only thing you saw was the lights of the car lights.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day, I went to the grocery store, and the cashiers were talking about like what happened yesterday, and they literally got robbed.
Really?
Their lights went out too. So there was like teenagers. It was a bunch of teenagers grabbing like snacks and stuff, putting them into their backpacks and just running off.
Oh my God.
And I was like, guys, come on.
Oh my God. They really thought it was like the apocalypse. Like they really said.
But they grabbed snacks.
Oh my God.
If it was, they should have grabbed like canned food or something, you know?
But they were teenagers. Like, you know, teenagers think they can survive off hot Cheetos and gummy worms and stuff.
Girl,
like
I can't eat hot Cheetos anymore.
That's true.
I can eat it once in a while, but I can't anymore.
Yeah,
they made my tummy upset. I ate like a big bag one time. I didn't eat the whole thing, but I think I ate like quite a lot that day. And then the next morning, I woke up, my tummy was so upset.
Oh my God!
I was like gone for the rest of the day. I was just like, oh. Yeah.
Oh my God! You know, there was actually a time where I don't know if I ever told you this. I would tell a lot of people this because it's kind of like. It grosses me out, so it's like I always tell people to gross them out.
Yeah.
But that was kind of me the very first time I ever tried Monster energy drink. Mind you, I was young. This wasn't like me in high school. Like I was little, right? Okay. This was like my sister kind of had a little phase of it. She didn't really go through it that much, but like for a while she would drink a Monster here and there. And I kind of just thought like, oh, like I'm gonna be all bad. I want to try Monster, right? So I didn't buy one, but like my sister like had one, and I would like beg her to like let me just try a sip. And mind you, a sip, not like chug, like just a little, you know. And I got so sick from it.
From a sip?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So sick. I literally missed school for a week. I got so sick. And then here's the part that grosses a lot of people out, right? So I don't necessarily remember, mind you, this is TMI, but
it's okay.
It's a podcast. We're trying to make it interesting, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I threw up or if, let's just say, it came out the other end.
Oh.
But it came out black.
Ooh.
It came out black. Yeah. Which is
Oh shoot.
Yeah, it came out black. Mind you, I don't remember. Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is literally like a monster's literally coming out of me. Like I was so sick for a week, and I remember like if it was like if it was throw up, like I remember specifically like it came out black, which is not something that happens. You know, I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like that, like it scared me. So I kind of got like a fear of like. I was like, I don't think like I'm meant for energy drinks and all that. So like nowadays I've had one here and there, like, you know, a little bit, but it's like I'm not someone who just like, I guess because of that experience that like I've always been kind of afraid of energy drinks. So I just like, I've never been into it, but yeah.
I drink energy drinks, but only if it's like in Dutch Bros.
The Dutch Bros ones? That's what your sister lives off of.
Yeah.
That's what she runs on.
Yeah.
Her battery is literally like
just energy drinks.
Just
Dutch Bros.
Dutch Bros energy. What do they call, like Rebels?
Rebels.
Yeah, that's what she lives off.
I think Dutch Bros has their own like energy drink. It's called literally a Rebel.
Oh, okay.
So they just put their energy drink in there.
Oh, yeah. Your poor sister.
I know.
The day they open up that Dutch Bros by your house,
it's over for her bank account.
Yeah, R.I.P. R.I.P. Shelly in general. Like, that's so sad. But yeah, yeah, but it's scary out here. Yeah, and going back to this whole like power outage stories that we were talking about, I had heard this story, right, on a YouTube, like this YouTuber that I used to watch a lot in middle school. He was telling a story about how one time he went to Disneyland. And you know that famous ride at Disneyland? I don't even know if it's still there, but it's the one where it's like the Small World, something like that. It's a Small World,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I've never been on that ride. A lot of people say it's boring, and a lot of people say it's kind of creepy because it's just these like little robot people like singing to you.
Yeah.
And he was telling a story about how one time he went to Disneyland, and he was on that ride, and very similar to my other story, halfway through it, the power went out. The power went out, and similar to the previous story I just told, it wasn't just like it was like it dimmed.
Yeah.
And the robots just like slowly stopped.
Oh.
Which that scared me. I was like, oh no. I was like, if that were me on a ride, first of all, getting the thought, first, as it is, you know, me, the thought on a roller coaster already scares me. Imagine the thought of being on a roller coaster and it just like stops halfway. It just breaks down halfway.
That's scary.
That is so scary. That is so scary. And it's like, I don't know, because I've seen videos and like pictures of that ride, and I'm like, that ride seems like it would be like, you know, it's just these little puppets like singing to you, you know, and then just like the thought of it halfway through it, just like they just like dim, like the lights go off and the robots just like slowly stop. I don't know about you, but that kind of freaks me out. Like the thought of that, I was like, thank gosh that's not me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I'd ever get on a ride after that. Like, I don't know how I would. Yeah, there's, oh my god, there's a lot of times where, it's like we were saying, there's a lot of times where I feel like a lot of people thought like, oh my god, like the world's ending, you know what I mean? And it's like you know which one I wanted to bring up to you? Because I kind of wanted to know, I kind of have two, but I'm gonna see if I can try to get through both of them, because I definitely wanted to bring this up at some point, and I'm so glad we're doing it on the second episode. Do you remember 2016 when there were like
the killer
clowns?
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm so glad you thought exactly what I was gonna say. Yes.
The killer clowns.
And I wanted to ask, because obviously we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
I was so scared to go outside.
Yeah.
At night. I was so scared. My mom was like, go take out the trash, and I'm like, no.
Oh, no. No.
I was like, no. And you know where I live, the dumpster's all the way out.
Yeah, it's literally, you have to go through the whole driveway.
Yeah.
Because your house is all the way at the end. Oh my god, that's so scary.
So I'm like, I can't do that. No, I can't. And like, I don't know if they were, like, some of them were fake. Like, I'm pretty sure some were real.
Yeah.
There are psychopaths out there.
Yeah, people definitely took that as an advantage to like...
like, go scare people, or maybe even harm someone.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, no.
But I know there were some people that were just like faking the videos.
Yeah, they were just trying to get like views or just trying to scare people. Yeah. Nothing else.
But there were some that really freaked me out. Like there were some where like most of them were like we're driving on like a very dark road, and I'm just like, okay, why are they all dark roads? Why are you driving in the middle of nowhere? Yeah. But like they're driving, and then they see just a clown just standing there. A clown in the distance. Just standing there. Yeah. And they're like, okay, we have to drive past. And they're like driving past, like kind of slow. I'm like, okay, just speed up and leave. You know? Yeah. But they're driving past really slow so they can get it on camera. And the clown is just like staring at them like go by, and it's just going like.
Oh, that's so scary.
And it starts chasing them in the back of the car.
Oh, that's scary. Like, no. That's terrifying. Oh my god.
That's scary.
Question though, did you ever see one?
No.
No? Okay, this was when I used to live down the hill in the city, right? I didn't have an encounter with one, but we definitely drove by one. And mind you, this was like daytime. It wasn't at night. It was during the day. We were driving basically what's like, it's basically like what we call like our main street, you know, like Main Street for us, but it was like for down where I used to live. We were driving by, and we were passing by, like, there's a bunch of like businesses there, restaurants and all that, and I literally saw one as we were driving by. I literally saw one standing outside a Taco Bell, and I just thought to myself, I was like, no way was that actually a clown that I just saw. And it was, but it was just like standing there.
So scary.
And I was like, that's scary. I was like, the fact that this person had the courage to go out there during the day, you know, to go, like, if it was one of these people who's just trying to freak people out, like, they went out there during the day where there's more people out. There's kids definitely out, you know, because I remember hearing stories of like all these videos where it would be the kids who would have encounters with them, because there were stories even on the news of like kids like seeing like clowns like, you know, by the trees and stuff, like trying to lure them. And like that was just like very scary. And I remember like at first, when I first ever saw like the very first clown video like that in that year, I just thought it was like a spooky video that just popped up like on my feed or whatever. But I didn't expect it to be like headline news and like such a big thing, because the next day I went to school, the whole school was talking about it. So I was like, wait, I was like, is everyone talking about this video that I literally saw yesterday? Like, is this like a trending video? But no, it's like apparently like a thing. Like people were going, like hundreds of people, not just this one person, hundreds of people were going out like dressing up like clowns and stuff just to scare people, or like you said, you know, God forbid, like actually trying to harm people, you know, like, yeah. And it got so big, and I think it originated in the States, but it was such a big thing that like they even started doing that like in the UK.
Yeah. When did it come out? I know, like it started in 2016.
I'm pretty sure 2016.
I think it was originating because of the new the It movie.
People were saying that it's basically like promotion for the It movie.
When did that release though? Well, I'm looking.
I think it was 2017.
2017. Okay, so it was probably after. It was after, so it couldn't have been.
Yeah, because
it was being promoted, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were barely like announcing like, you know, a new It movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, like people did think that was just like a big like whole like a publicity stunt where it was like just promotion to like freak people out for this like new horror movie that has to do with a clown and kids and stuff. And I don't know, I remember that, and I too had like the biggest fear of going out at night, where like I didn't even like you said, like I wouldn't even want to go take out the trash, like, you know, like I just wouldn't. And yeah, like I remember seeing so many videos of like people's like Ring cameras, security cameras of like,
and they're just standing there.
And they're just standing there. And I even saw one that was like attempting to try to get into a house. Like it was even like it started in the front and then it went to the side door and it even made its way to the back door. But he couldn't get in, so he ended up just leaving. But I was like, that is so terrifying. That is so like we don't have cameras in my house. We've wanted to, but at the same time we've been debating on to, because my sister's biggest fear is she doesn't want to catch anything. Like she doesn't want anything to get caught on camera. Like that's just like her fear.
That will freak her out.
Yeah,
like,
because
oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's like it makes you think like say for example, you get cameras, your first day, like at night you witness something, and it makes you think like, has this been happening every night?
Yeah.
You know, like where some creep is just at your door, just chilling there, and it makes you think like, has this been happening more than once? You know, like, and that's like my sister's thing, is that like she doesn't want to catch something because she's gonna get scared. But there are moments where it's like we kind of feel like we want cameras and stuff, but it's like at the same time it's like we're scared to get cameras. We're scared because I mean, even just like imagine you're out far away from home, you're on vacation, and you get an alert on your phone that something's at your house, something's at your front door. And it's just like...
Yeah, girl, I get up at 3 in the morning, so...
That's even scarier. Yeah, Fatima goes to work at 3 in the morning, so... No. No, definitely not. Oh my god.
It would be helpful though, like me, because sometimes I do get scared going out. Like I leave... When I know that I'm going to work the next day, I leave my car kind of in front of the house.
Oh, okay.
Like in front of the garage.
Uh-huh.
And every time I'm about to go outside, I always, like, before I go outside, I check if there's anything outside.
Oh, okay.
And I like go like turn on my car really quick and then come back inside so it can like heat up. And then I'm like so scared the whole time. I'm just like, but yeah, it's scary.
You're just lucky you weren't working in 2016.
I know.
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. Like I wondered that. I was like, because obviously I haven't lived here for that long, but I just wondered. I'm like, what did it look like when this, like the whole clowns were going around like in 2016? Like what did it look like here? Because from my understanding, from what people who have lived here for a while now have told me, like this place has become more populated. Like this city and all that, like it's growing as, you know, time goes. So I'm like, back then I feel like it was more like
nobody knew about it.
Yeah, like it was more like I don't know how to put it, but it was like, it wasn't as populated as it definitely seems right now, based on what people have told me at least. And I don't know, like I wanted to ask it to you, and I wanted to like bring it up to you, like, you know, do you remember the clowns that were going around, you know, and like if you ever had an encounter with one?
Yeah, that's scary. I have never had an encounter, but what you're talking about right now, the clowns, it reminds me of something that's going on like probably like a year or two ago. On TikTok, there is like a video of the dancing Serbian lady.
I've heard of this.
And if you see her, run. And
yeah.
I'm just like, why?
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And like she's just like, you can't see her face.
No.
She's just down, like her face, her back is towards you.
Yeah.
And she's just doing like a little dance.
Yeah.
And like if you get close to her, she'll stop, she'll turn around and chase you.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
And I'm just like,
that is scary.
I've seen videos like, and I honestly I was like, I believe them, but at the same time I'm just like, no, they're just like joking, you know? They're like just trying to prank us or something. But like, they seem so real.
Yeah.
Like there's a video I saw, like the first one I ever saw was a person, they were like in a like the top of a 2-story house, like the first like top window. Excuse me. And they got a video of the dance, like it's a Serbian, right?
Yeah, I think it's the Serbian dancing lady or something like that.
Yeah, and like she was just in like the alley just dancing.
Oh.
Like doing her like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then another video I saw is like you got like the people were like right like in the same place with her, and they were like walking up to her, and then they heard, like she heard them, she stopped, and she paused, she turned, and she just stared at them, and then ran towards them. And I was like,
that is scary. Oh, that's so scary. Oh my god. Yeah, I've definitely heard of this as well, and that does remind me a lot of like the whole clown situations that, like, you know, this video went viral of this lady dancing like literally in the middle of the street or in an alley or whatever. And I mean, it could just be like people just scaring people and just like, you know, random girl going out there and like just doing the dance. But it's like, that's definitely scary because of this whole like legend behind it. So it's like, if you do see, like, even if it's just a girl trying to film a TikTok out there doing it, you're probably gonna get scared, you know, because it's like, you don't know the intentions, you know, like that person could just try to make a video for views, or you never know. You never know, you know. It's the same with the clowns. You never knew. They could just be trying to scare you, trying to get views, or maybe they have bad intentions.
You never know with people these days.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, people are crazy.
Yeah.
Really like psycho.
Yeah, very crazy. I actually had I didn't have the encounter, but I did witness something earlier when I told you in the kitchen that I wanted to tell you the story about. So my dad I had to go to Staples to get something for my dad. And so, you know, the Staples over here by the Walmart on the side, you know how it's like it's Michael's, Dollar Tree, Staples.
Yeah.
It's like the three next to each other. So I had to go to Staples, obviously, but I also wanted to go to Michael's because I wanted to get my corkboard that I showed you earlier. And I was like, I'm gonna park like in between. That way I don't have to, like, you know, walk from over here. Like, it's just like it's a simple walk to both stores. And right outside the Dollar Tree, mind you, Dollar Tree right in between both stores, right? I didn't go into Dollar Tree, but right outside of Dollar Tree, there was this like homeless lady who was sitting out there, and I didn't even know there was a lady there until I saw like this girl come out of Dollar Tree giving her like spare change and stuff. And I don't know what happened with the lady who was trying to give her change or money and all that. Mind you, this homeless lady, I didn't even get a look at her. Like, I didn't see her, right? But the girl who came out who was trying to like give her money, like, I don't mean to like assume, but she looked very like Latina, you know? And I'm walking, just minding my own business. Like I said, I didn't even turn to look at this homeless lady. And then I start hearing this lady shouting, right? She starts shouting, and I'm not turning around because I'm like, I don't want to like
get involved.
I don't want to get involved. I don't want to like seem like I'm getting involved. I'm just gonna like, I was just listening. And this lady is like screaming like the most like racist things towards this woman, saying like get out of my country, like go back to Mexico where you belong, like leave my country, you know? And I got scared, I'll be honest, because I didn't even know if she was talking to me. I was like, is she talking to me? So I went into the Staples terrified. I was like, how am I going to get back to my car? I was like, this lady out there is yelling at, I don't know who. For all I know, she could have been yelling at me. Because, I mean, I'm just as brown as any Mexican. So I'm just like, you know, I don't know if she was yelling that at me, you know. And I come out of Staples. And instead of walking through like that path where it's like in front of the stores, I go around towards behind the cars where the cars are driving just to avoid this lady. Because as I'm walking back to go to Michael's, actually, I'm hearing this lady like still like arguing with nobody, but she's just like arguing to herself. And I just got scared because I was like, oh my god, like I've never encountered like a racism, like, you know, in person like that. Yeah. You know, I've never encountered that. I've never witnessed that. And it's just like, it freaked me out because this lady was like screaming off the top of her lungs, like, you know, like, leave this country, like, this is my country, like, you go back to Mexico where you belong. And I started freaking out because I was like, you know, like I said, I don't know if she's talking to me, you know. So I get scared and I like try my best to avoid this lady. So I was like, I'm not going right in front of her. I'm gonna go towards where I'd rather walk where the cars are driving than walk past this crazy lady who's like yelling racism at like us Mexicans and stuff, you know. But yeah, that happened to me earlier and I got really scared.
That's scary.
I almost had to call you to come pick me up. I got so scared in this Staples. I even stayed like for a while. I like stayed in an aisle and I was looking at the door to see if she was coming. I was so scared. I was terrified.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That reminds me. I think I told you this story. I just don't remember if I actually did. We were going to cash my dad's check, and we couldn't find a place to cash it.
Yeah.
Because nobody was cashing checks. So then we went to a place in like downtown Victorville. You know that place is like very scary to me.
Yeah.
And we went, and we went into this place. And there was like a homeless lady trying to get like, I think she was homeless. I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem rude.
Yeah.
But I think she was. And she was trying to get like food, and she had like an EBT card.
Oh, okay.
So but then she was trying to pay, and the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, you can't pay with this." And she was like, and she had a guy with her, and I guess she wanted to show him that she could buy food, right? And then she was like started to cuss him out, saying, "You're just trying to embarrass me in front of this man. You're just trying to embarrass me because I can buy this with this card, but you're not letting me. You're just embarrassing me." And then she was like yelling really like bad things to like just very bad things to her. And she was like, "You're not gonna get this," like, and she was signaling to her private part.
Oh yeah.
So you're not gonna get this, and I was like. I'm like, okay. And me being me, my dad was next to me, and I got behind my dad.
Oh my god.
I got behind my dad because I was like, you're gonna protect me if something happens. So then my dad tried to cash a check. They couldn't cash it. So then we walked out, and the lady had already left. We walked out. We were going to the car. My mom was waiting in the car, and we were opening the car. We were both on like my dad's. I was on my dad's side.
Yeah.
The drivers and I was behind him.
Yeah.
And we both opened the doors, and I got in really quickly because I in the distance I saw the lady coming back.
Oh.
And she was walking really fast, and she was cussing us out and stuff. And she was walking towards us.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dad, get in the car right now." I'm like, "Dad, get in the car right now."
Yeah.
And then my mom looks, and she's like, "Luis, métete. Luis, métete al carro. Métete al carro."
Oh
and I was
my
like,
god. That is
and she's
terrifying.
like, get in the car right now.
Yeah.
And like he barely made it in the car. Like he got in because he was looking at something like on the door of the car.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, "Get in the car right now. Get in the car right now."
I'm surprised your mom didn't go in and just like snatch me. And then she took care of the wheel, like shit.
Yeah, because like it was so scary that he made it, and then she started like the windows were up, and she started cussing out my dad. Like she went up to my dad, started cussing him out through the window.
Oh my god.
And she was like doing some I don't know if I'm using the right word, derogative. Like very not. I don't think I'm using the right word. Very like nasty things.
Yeah, yeah.
Saying very nasty things to my dad.
Oh.
And signaling to her.
Yeah.
And like you know how like when guys they go like this and they like on their pelvic area.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what she was doing.
Oh.
And I was like.
Ew.
I was like, no.
That's nasty. How old were you when this happened?
It was literally this year.
Oh, it was this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
The beginning of the year.
Oh wow! I thought this was when you were little.
No, it was.
You would have been traumatized. You would have still been. I'm sure you're still traumatized.
Yeah, and then the owner of the store came. I think this happens regularly because he was already waiting there, and he comes with his truck, and he tells her to leave. He's like, just leave already, just go. And she's like just like cursing him and stuff. So at the same when that's happening, my dad finds that as an opportunity to leave. So turn on the car and we leave. And yeah, it's a scary moment.
I do remember when you told me this story, and I was like, oh god, that's so scary. I don't know, people are very scary, you know. There's actually this this saying that they always say in because you know me, I love my horror, right? You know, I love spooky stuff. I always watch a bunch of scary videos and stuff, and they always it'll be compilations of you know, ghosts caught on camera or stalkers on camera, you know. And they always in all these videos they always mention people are always gonna be more scarier than anything paranormal and all that. And I'm I believe that. Yeah, you know, because
I believe that too.
You know, a simple ghost in your house, okay, they knock over a vase or whatever, or they'll make noises at night. But a full-on person has way more intentions, physical intentions, than anything paranormal that you could be witnessing. Yeah. So I don't know, the whole thought of you know, scary homeless people or stalkers, all that terrifies me, and I'm just always I'm always trying my best to avoid it. That's why I was trying to avoid that lady here, because I was I don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
I want to just walk by, just carry on with my day. Leave me alone. You know, oh gosh, yeah. But I do remember that story. You did tell me that story about your dad's check and the home, and well, you don't know if she was homeless or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was scary.
That's so scary.
That's why I don't like going down to that part of the city.
Oh gosh.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
And always whenever we have to go down there, I always tell my mom, I'm you'd like to live here, huh?
Oh my god.
And she's like, no.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's scary.
It's kind of weird to think that the more city you go into, the more ghetto it gets. Why is that?
I don't know.
You know, you don't know. I always think about that, because I mean, obviously, where I grew up in, it was obviously more city than this, but you know, it was more closer towards you know, LA and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, we would go to LA and stuff, and people think Los Angeles, you know, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, all this bouginess, but then you go and it's so ghetto, you know, there's so much homeless there.
Yeah.
And even you know, downtown Victorville where you went, you know, I feel it's the same thing, and I feel it's weird to me that that's just how the city is, you know, people who don't live in the city, people who don't live in the city, they imagine all this bouginess and stuff, and it's you go and it's you're not gonna get what you're expecting.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely not gonna be that at all. I remember this was a while back, I want to say a year, maybe, yeah, a year ago. I was trying to get a job at this one place in Victorville as well. It was far that way, right? You know where the San Bernardino Fair is? Okay, that more down that way, right?
Oh wow.
It was so ghetto over there. I was I've been on this street so many times, but I've never been far pressed that way, that I'm it is so different over here. It's way more ghetto. It looks way more dangerous here. You know? And yeah, just I get scared of people like that, and I get scared of you can tell even just by looking at a town sometimes, you know, it's dangerous here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time for our favorite segment, Fatima. Are you ready? It is time for Things Heard, Read, and Seen. We have a lot to talk about, so we're going to try to get through as much as possible, because it's a lot, right? We're trying to get through this quickly if we can, all right? Obviously, you have a lot of things that I know, I know for a fact there's books you want to probably talk about, and I know for a fact I have movies that I really want to talk about. I'll go ahead and start off with the movies. I'll try to go as quick. Really quick, I want to just point out the movies that we've gone to go see, because we already mentioned we saw A Quiet Place day 1 yesterday, and honestly, we're obviously not going to get into spoilers, but so far, what a good movie.
Such a good movie.
Personally, I don't know if you'll disagree with me. I thought it was probably my top from the 3 movies.
Really?
I don't know. With the Quiet Place movies, well, now being a trilogy, the first one will always get me. Okay, that's a really good movie.
It's so sad.
And it's very sad, honestly. I was very sad with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really appreciate about it, and we were actually talking about this with Shelly yesterday,
mm-hmm.
is that it was very like, it was such a good movie for its time, because it's like, it was a brand new idea.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see a lot of movies like this where it's like, you know, obviously, like, you know, like how Shelly was saying, like a lot of movies nowadays, like they're kind of just like replicas of like older movies, so it's like there's not a lot of ideas being thrown out there. There's no original ideas as much out there. I can tell we're definitely probably gonna go see the movie Trap though, because I know you're really excited about that movie, and that one too. That one seems like it's like a brand new idea. Like, isn't it like M. Night Shyamalan or
M. Night? I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. I know it's M. Night though. Good director. So
mm-hmm.
like I'm just saying, you know. Seems like a good movie. But yeah, like the first Quiet Place movie will always be one of my favorites, because it's like, this was like brand new to me. It was like wow, like, you know, like the whole thought of like there's all these creatures, which like there's a lot of movies with like creature alien things, but like the whole point is that like they can hear anything, right? Like they have like that like 4K hearing, you know, like they hear anything no matter how far away it is, which like is scary, because it's like you could think you're alone, but it's like the slightest sound you make, like one of them's gonna pop up, you know. And with this one, we were saying, I think you were saying about how like with A Quiet Place Day 1, like it was less of a horror movie and more so like
thriller.
It was more thriller, like very like suspense, you know. I think that's the word that I used, was that it was more suspense than like a horror movie, you know. But you did mention that you did tear up in that movie. You did tear up.
I did.
There was a very like I said, no spoilers, but like there was a very cute scene in that movie that definitely had you. You said it was the music that also did it for you. Yeah, it was a very.
It made me fall in love with Joseph Quinn all over again.
Yeah.
Made me fall in love with him.
Yeah, he did really good in that movie too.
Good.
Like obviously, like I obviously liked him as Eddie in Stranger Things, but like I was watching this man in this movie and I was like, I was forgetting like that's Eddie, you know, like that was the guy who played Eddie. This was like whole new character, so it's like this guy's really good, because it's like he's one of those actors where it's like, you know, he's not gonna play the same character all the time, you know, where it's like they just give off that same energy in everything that they work in. Yeah. Like he was a completely different person with this, so it was like he was really good. There were moments. I'm gonna try not to spoil, but I know Shelly mentioned how you could tell he has this like fear of water and stuff. Like you can kind of sense like he has like panic attacks when it comes to being in water and stuff, and like kind of like he has like anxiety with like having to be underwater and things like that, you know. Like, you know, Shelly was saying like maybe he can't swim, or like maybe it's just like, I thought of it as like maybe he's just like, it's a phobia, you know, because there's people who are afraid of like even like, you know, things like the ocean and stuff like that, you know. And it just like, it made me feel for this poor guy, because it's like, you know, like he's like everyone else, he's scared, you know, but like they didn't try to make him seem like the male lead who's trying to be brave and like the hero. They didn't make him like that, which I thought was like really, you know, that was cool to me, because it's like, you know, again, it was a new idea. Usually like movies like this, like they'll have like the lead actor who's like the male character, they'll have them be like the brave, all tough, brave, and like
nothing scares me, you know.
Yeah, and they're the ones saving the girl's life.
Yes.
But for this one, it was kind of the opposite of, you know.
And I loved it so much because like it's like he did like the director or the people like casting or making like the screenwriters. Yeah. They weren't scared of showing like this is how a man actually looks when he's scared. Anybody. Yeah. This is what anybody actually looks when they're scared. Like me personally, I'm not gonna be like, oh, nothing is scaring me, because me, I'm a scaredy cat. But like that like just showed like the realism. Yeah. Like he's gonna be scared, obviously. Right? Yeah. And I was talking to one of my coworkers today, telling him like I wasn't spoiling the movie, but I was just telling him like for a movie that like wasn't like there was not much talking, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was like even more beautiful because they showed their acting in like their facial expressions.
Yeah, like
that's impressive.
You can see the fear,
and you can feel it as well with their facial expressions, and obviously the music, because music is like a really like it adds to it.
Yeah,
but like their facial expressions.
Yeah,
because there wasn't much talking in this movie.
No, obviously
probably a couple lines. Their script was probably like this big.
Yeah, it was probably like 2 pages long.
But yeah, I was like it's crazy how like you can be captivated with just their like facial expressions.
Yeah. And
their movements and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides Joseph Quinn.
Obviously. Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't even get, what was the main character's name?
Sam.
Her name was Sam?
Yeah, Samira, I think.
Oh,
Sam.
okay.
I think we missed it in the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, what was her name? Like, I don't remember her name, but yeah, okay, so Sam, she was a really cool character, you know? Like, she obviously had moments where she was terrified as well, but she was like, I'm trying really hard not to spoil, but
she was the one putting on a brave face.
Yeah, she was trying to be like the tough one, to where it's like, if they were both to be terrified equally, where it's like they don't even know what to do, like one of them has to, like, you know, even though they're scared, one of them has to like step up and like
take initiative.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, if you really think about it, if they both would have been as scared as he was, do you really think that like they would have even survived like that long? Like, you know, like
no.
You know, because it's like, you know, when you're terrified, like you don't know what to do. A lot of people freeze up when they're terrified. Like they can't move, you know. So, you know, I like that she was very like brave about all this, you know. Frodo, or the cat, Frodo, stressed me out a lot. Because how dare you make a movie where it's like these creatures are out killing people and you throw in a cat in there?
And mind you, Riley loves her cat.
I love cats. I have my cat tower right here. Right? They're not here. But yeah, I love cats so much. So it's like I was nervous for this cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, the ending was really cool though. I love that ending. Oh my god, if you guys have seen it, you know exactly what we're talking about. That ending was so good. Yeah. Oh my god, that was such a good ending. I was like, wow, that was powerful. I loved it.
It was so good. And it was so funny to me that I was like thinking about it after we watched the movie. I was like, I kept mentioning your cat. I kept mentioning Dora. I was like, we would be done for if she was here with us.
If my cat Dora, which a lot of you who watch my videos probably know her already, Dora would have gotten all of us killed. And I even told my sister this because I told her about the movie. I didn't spoil it either, but I told her about it. And I told her, I was like, had it been Dora would have purposely gotten us killed. You know, like Dora.
She's like, just stop, guys.
Yeah, Dora would have purposely gotten us all killed. And yeah, also one last thing I will mention about this movie. Seeing this movie in theaters was kind of trippy because the way, mind you, the theater, it wasn't full all the way, but there were a lot of people there. The way we were all trying to be so silent, we were so like we didn't even want to eat, and we got popcorn, we got pizza, and like there was a moment where I had an empty pizza box and you were holding the big popcorn bucket. And I told you, I was like, can I get some in the pizza box? I meant like, you know, pour me some in here. And you didn't want to. You're like, you do. So then I'm like carefully like trying to like pour it, right? And then I like, nothing's coming out. And I like kind of just like push them. And then I'm like, I try to go for it. I'm like, how loud can it be? So I kind of like tilt it. The popcorn falls onto the box and it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah. So
I'm like, whoa. So I'm like being quietly just like putting it on my box, not making any sound. And then there was a part in that movie, right around that part, where it got loud out of nowhere, and you were like, go, 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 and I quickly poured some onto my box. I was like, go, like, go now. Oh my god, yeah, it was very trippy. I remember when the first movie came out, I didn't go see that one, but when the first one came out, there were people saying that like people couldn't even eat their popcorn in peace because other people were getting like mad. Because like people wanted it to be like quiet. So if they would hear you like munching on your popcorn, like people would get mad at you. And it was like, I thought
we're at a movie theater.
I was like, what do you expect? Like, it's a movie theater, but also like, yeah, that movie was like,
I think we were pretty quiet besides our like food and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't talk. Obviously, we like whispered if like we had to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But we didn't like. We weren't loud.
No, we definitely were. Because there's been moments where like we've gone to the movies and we're the only ones in the room.
Yeah.
And we talk like normal. Because who else is there? You know, there's no one there but us. And yeah, so Quiet Place Day 1. I love that movie.
Love it.
So good. So
Joseph
good.
Quinn.
Yes.
And Lupita.
Yeah.
Lupita
Yes.
también.
Yes,
Her
indeed.
too. She did such a good job. I love it.
Yeah. Such a good movie. I also really, really wanted to talk about Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Because we did see Inside Out 2. I wasn't even gonna go, but then I ended up going because I didn't work that day because I called off. I called off work that day, so I ended up going with them last minute. And we all wanted to go dressed as like a different emotion. I went as fear because I went all in purple. You went as joy. Shelly went as embarrassment.
Yes.
I thought she was gonna go as anger. I remember you telling me that she was gonna go as anger.
She said she doesn't have a red shirt, even though I've seen her wear a red shirt.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she went as embarrassment. Yeah. Your brother went as sadness.
Yes.
And then your younger sister went as disgust, I believe.
Disgust. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really it was a good movie. It was a really cute movie. Personally, with Inside Out, I like this one more than the first one. Because the first one, I liked it, but I think it was probably one of like my slightly least favorite Pixar movies when the first one came out, at least. And then when the second one came out, like I kind of was like, oh, okay, like a new Inside Out movie, you know. But then like everyone was talking about it, like, you know, it was like the most like popular movie, and I was like, I kind of want to see this movie, like, you know, like everyone's talking about it, you know, because obviously there's these new emotions. Biggest one being anxiety, which is a big emotion to a lot of people nowadays, you know. Yeah. But also, like, I thought to myself, I was like, the way they portrayed these emotions towards, like, you know, the character of Riley now being basically a teenager, because isn't she like going off to high school or something like that?
Yeah.
The way they portrayed, like, you know, the way anxiety works in your body and stuff like that, like the idea of like wanting to fit in and all that, like I thought that they did that so well for a kids movie, because it was like, it was one of those moments, it was one of like those memes where it's like all the kids like, you know, having a good time watching Inside Out 2, but it's like us grown-ups watching Inside Out 2, like, we were all like in our feels, we were sad and stuff. But yeah, there was a lot of moments in that movie too that I don't know about you, but I personally related to. And I don't know, like, it's just like, it was a very like, it was a tough movie to like watch, because it was like, even though it's a kids movie, like, you know, I kind of like the way that they like. How did you feel about the message they were trying to give to kids personally?
I personally liked it. I enjoyed that they were trying to spread awareness to like mental health. Yeah. Because obviously, like, the biggest emotion that Riley had in that movie was anxiety. Anxiety was taking over. Yeah. And that's what people are going through like nowadays. Like, I feel like this like generation is going through it more. I don't know. I don't know why it's now. Yeah. Like, I know people go through it like through it all like the time. Yeah. But I feel like we could use it now more now, like that movie kind of like healed people's like inner child. Yeah. It was just really like touching to see that they like incorporated that, because they're like, you're not alone. Yeah. Everybody feels this. You know? Definitely. And like when in a specific part, like where anxiety was going crazy. Oh, the anxiety attack. Yeah, the anxiety attack. Yeah. I was like, that's what it looks like in my head. Yeah, that's literally how it feels like too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, that's literally what it looks like, and like they portrayed it really good. Like even when they showed Riley like heavy breathing and everything, and I'm just like, that's a good thing to show. That everybody can go through this. Yeah, that's true. You know, and I don't know. I really liked that they put that there. Mm-hmm. Because mental health is a really serious thing. Yeah, and definitely. It's a really serious subject, an important thing to talk about. And yeah, I don't know, like I also like agree, like the way they gave out the message to these kids, especially because like I said, if you're like a young child
like a little kid going to go see this movie. Obviously, like little kids are gonna have fun with it because it's a cartoon and all that. But like it was really good to see that like you said, like they're gonna. It sucks, but like they're eventually gonna go through that.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna go through an anxiety attack. Everyone's gonna have to deal with anxiety, dealing with a mix of emotions, and like you're gonna feel lost and you're gonna feel like you're alone. But yeah, like the way they spread that out, being like, you know, clearly it's not just one person going through this, because obviously why else would they make this movie out? And it would make a lot of money already, because it's like this is something that everyone goes through, you know. Everyone's gone through it, and especially nowadays, you know, like everyone nowadays, like I think like the rates of anxiety have gone probably way more up like nowadays, like this day and age, than probably like I'm not saying people back then didn't have anxiety or anything like that, but it's like I feel like nowadays, like the younger people are the ones who are like starting to develop it like so easily.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like they like portrayed that really well, and I like that they also just like they had to do this in a kids movie form, because had it just been like, you know, a movie for grown-ups and stuff, like an awareness type of film, like you heard of that movie, The Sound of Freedom?
Yeah.
Okay, so that movie was also technically like an awareness type of thing, but I had heard that movie was like being banned and stuff because like people didn't want to show that movie and all that, which like I thought was kind of dumb, because I was like, you know, these people are trying to spread an awareness, and obviously it being a movie for adults, you know, a lot of kids aren't gonna watch this.
Yeah.
The older audience is definitely gonna talk about this. The younger audience is not really gonna know about it, but showing an awareness movie like that towards kids, I thought was really like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I really like that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Inside Out 2 definitely got me in my feels. I definitely related to a lot of it, and yeah, that whole like that scene with the anxiety attack, like that too, like that's literally what I envision, like when my head's like spiraling, like I'm like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to, like I can't control myself, you know, like I feel like my own emotions aren't letting me like have control over my body and stuff. So it's definitely like a good movie, and I definitely recommend, like I feel like every kid like has to see this movie at one point, like whether they saw it in theaters or just gonna wait for Disney Plus, like everyone has to see this movie at some point, because you know it's good to know, like, you know, you're not alone with that, you know? You're not the only one who's gonna go through that. So we talked about seeing A Quiet Place Day 1, which we've been mentioning a lot in this in this podcast episode. There was Inside Out 2, which we all went like as a group together, you, your siblings, you know, and I was there too, you know. But then we saw The Strangers. We saw The Strangers Chapter 1. I invited her, for starters, okay, because I really wanted to go see this movie, because you know me, I love horror movies, right? I love my slashers, and The Strangers, you know, the older one, and then there was like the second one, The Strangers Pray at Night. Yeah. I really like them, so I was like, when I heard that there's a new Strangers movie, I was like, I want to go see it. I was like, if you don't want to go see it, I'm gonna go see it, you know? Mm-hmm. And it was very last minute as well when you were gonna go with me, because you didn't know if you were gonna be able to and stuff, and I was like, well, I'll just go because I at least want to see it. And then you called me like last minute saying that, like, you know, you can go.
I'm always last minute. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm always last minute.
It's okay. Yeah. So then we ended up going together. We met up at the theater, and I was really excited because it was like, you know, it's a horror movie. It's my thing, you know, but. Again, I could feel how nervous you were. So like I felt bad that I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna get this girl nervous, you know, like, you know. And we went in there. We were one of the only ones in there. There was like another person there as well. There wasn't a lot of people there. And for starters, this movie, although it was a pretty good movie, you know, it wasn't like a bad movie. A lot of people are saying it was, you know, a lot of people's bad reviews for it. I understand them though. Because this movie had a lot of frustration.
Tell me about it.
So much frustration. For starters, the poor character decisions. This couple, right? They're in. First of all, you pointed this out to me afterwards, because I remember when this movie was announced, they were saying that this was gonna be a prequel to the older ones, like the first one and stuff. So this was like technically like what happened first. So if this was supposed to be a prequel to the older movie, you pointed out that they had so much modern technology in this movie that like how does that make sense that this is a prequel?
Yeah.
Because they had like what, iPhones and stuff. They had like electric cars. Airbnb was a thing. So like how did that make sense? I feel like that was a mistake that they clearly didn't like you know check in on. But yeah, these characters. Oh, sorry. These characters, very bad decisions they made. It was very one of those movies where it's like, for starters, one thing I did notice. I don't know if you noticed it. They would be hiding, but they would be by windows all the time. They were always by a window.
Their head right under the window.
They were literally standing in front of a window. Like if this TV was the window, like that's where they were. Like they were literally in front of windows all the time. And then they did a lot of those like, you stay here, I'll be right back. They did a lot of that.
No, go together.
They did a lot of that so much. Oh my god.
If that happened to us, I'd be like, girl, you're coming with me.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
If I die, you're dying too.
I'm not letting you go without me. Yeah. One thing we did notice though, at least you noticed that it was definitely gonna come up again, was that the boyfriend had an inhaler. The whole, like in the beginning, they referenced him and his inhaler in the beginning, and we knew that's gonna come up again later, and it's not gonna be good because they're like, I think it's like their car breaks down or something, and they had to stay in an Airbnb, and
in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods, definitely, yeah. They stayed in an Airbnb in the middle of the woods, and they don't have their car. It's at a shop that they're not gonna get back until like the next day, and he leaves his inhaler in the car. So he has the bright idea of leaving his girlfriend in this Airbnb while he takes a motorcycle that's just randomly on the property, and he just takes off, leaves her there. And then there's that famous line where they knock at the door and the girl asks like, is Tamara home? And they do that twice because they always do that in these movies. And another thing too, if you're, at least this is what I would do, right? Because as someone who, like I mentioned earlier, I'm home alone a lot. If I hear someone knock at my door, I'm not gonna make it obvious that I am home. You know, like I'm definitely, this is what I always do, and I'm literally telling you like this is what I do when I'm home alone. If I'm, say, here in the living room, in my room, in the kitchen, wherever I am, if I hear the doorbell ring or someone knock on the door, like I'm not gonna peek through the door. I'm going to one of the rooms to peek through a window just to see. I'm like, is it someone I know? If it's not someone I have no idea who they are, I'm not even opening the door.
Yeah.
And because they most of the time they just walk away because they're like, okay, well they're not here, you know. Like just because my car could be here doesn't necessarily mean I am here. You know what I mean? Like I think of it like that way because it's like I could be out with my sister. My sister's car's not here. I could have gone out with her. You could have come to pick me up and go somewhere, you know? So it's like when you hear a knock at the door, especially when you're in a house that's not yours and you're in the middle of nowhere, you hear a random knock, I feel like you don't make it obvious that you're at home.
No.
You don't, especially if you're alone, you know? Like you don't make it obvious that you're home. And that was the first thing they would do, is she wouldn't necessarily open the door, but she would talk to them through the door.
Yeah.
And another thing, I don't know if you noticed, there's like the peephole thing, and she didn't even use that in the beginning.
Just open the door.
She just straight opened the door. I was like, what are these decisions they're making? And yeah, it was very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed.
I was nervous.
She was very nervous, as usual. As usual. How about you give your thoughts?
Well, I was very, like you said, very bad decisions. Like,
yeah.
Why would you even do that?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm just like, I was really frustrated and nervous, and I was like, no, don't do this, they're right there.
Yeah.
Don't do that, they're right there. And there was a point where like it got really quiet. I think it got really quiet, and then like I'm just like, no. There's a part when they're like walking under the house. Remember
oh yes.
And then she gets hurt. I don't want to say how because I don't know if they've seen it or not.
Yeah, she does get hurt.
She gets hurt, and she wants to scream, but she can't.
Yeah.
And then the boyfriend covers her mouth, and he's like, I'm sorry, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god. And it just, oh my gosh, this movie made me mad.
Yeah, definitely.
I expressed how mad I was at, like, to Riley after.
Yeah.
I was pretty mad.
You were very upset. I think you even said that you went to your sister and ranted about it.
And then after, because I hadn't seen the first movies, I went to go see them after.
Yeah, I recommended you watch the first two, and then you watched them on by yourself, which like, bravo to you, because you watched them with headphones on, like, you know.
Yeah, my big headphones.
Yeah, you watched them by yourself, like, you watched both of them, and then not that long ago, like a few weeks ago, I recently watched here in the living room. I was watching The Strangers Pray at Night, and then the next day you came over, and I told you about how I had just watched it yesterday, and we like sat down and watched it again together, you know, because a lot of people don't really like The Strangers, but like you and I agreed that like the Pray at Night one was probably like our favorite one, you know. I really enjoyed that one. So we have to end it here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fatima's Things Heard, Read, and Seen is gonna be added later on, hopefully. Hey guys, it's Future Riley here, okay? Giving you guys a little update on what basically just happened. I want to do this little outro again because I did mention that we were going to go ahead and add in Fatima's Things Heard, Read, and Seen segment on here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get her to do her segment because of two reasons, okay? One, if you guys don't know, I do film my podcast using my phone because I don't have any other camera or devices to use, and my phone was about to die. It was literally on 5% when we decided we need to end this right now, okay? And the second reason, Fatima unfortunately had to go, okay? She had things to go do, she had an errand to go run, so she couldn't be here for that much longer, enough for me to charge my phone and, you know, start recording all over again, okay? But I am just here to let you guys know that next episode, which we are gonna try our best to get it out very soon, we're gonna just quickly start the episode with finishing off where we left off and then continuing on with starting the third episode, okay? But yeah, both Fatima and I just want to, you know, in advance just apologize because I know Fatima and I get really excited when we do this podcast, okay? This episode was way longer than the last episode, if you can clearly tell. So, you know, we ramble on about a lot of things, which is the whole point, and we have fun doing it. And we were looking so forward to this specific segment because Things Heard, Read, and Seen is basically like, it's so exciting for us because, you know, we get to talk about, you know, movies that we've seen, books that we've read. You know, I know for a fact Fatima had things she really wanted to talk about, but unfortunately we just didn't have the time anymore. So yeah, I couldn't get her to film her segment on her own and have it submitted, so we just decided, you know what, let's just save it for the third episode, okay? Yeah, just want to let you guys know, sorry about that, and let's go ahead and finish ending this episode because we couldn't get through it, but yeah, I just want to quickly say thank you for coming back to another episode, Fatima, and also thank you guys for being patient with us. A lot of people said that they really liked the first one, so I was like, oh my god, yay, like people like this. So I felt bad that like we didn't give them like what they wanted right away, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
We made it to the second episode.
We did. We made it to the second episode. Yay. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys can follow all the socials in the description. I'll also put in Fatima's Instagram as well, if that's okay with you. And also you guys can follow me on Instagram as well. And subscribe to this channel where you guys will get all the episodes and any other videos. Fatima's made appearances and vlogs and stuff. And we have plenty of more coming soon. Yep. Alright, so thank you guys once again, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!